What is happening, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Here we go again, Reactors Around the World 2. It's nice to connect here with the bass player. Some of you might know his channel, some of you might not. I'll make sure to leave that link in the description. I didn't do it yet, but you can Google it, or YouTube it, the bass player. Yeah, so let's jump right into it. How'd you get your dad to jump on your channel with you?
Okay, so in the beginning, I started out just doing reactions by myself in my living room. I had like maybe my phone up or doing whatever, and Dad wasn't involved in the beginning. But then when I moved into the kitchen, which I'm literally in my kitchen.
You moved into the kitchen? You live in the kitchen? No, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But when I started filming in the kitchen, I was doing live streams and everything, and then he was actually over doing whatever one day, and I started talking to him, and he was off camera, and he didn't want to be on camera in the beginning. And then all the comments are saying, "Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to?" I'm like, "I'm talking to my dad," and he didn't want to be on camera. And then I said, "Hey, Dad, I'm doing this reaction, or I'm doing that reaction, or whatever." And he said, "Okay, well, I might want to jump on or, do whatever." I think I asked him if he wanted to come on, and then everyone just liked when he, all of his comments and everything. And I mean, in the beginning, I don't actually go back. Like for my original videos that I used to do, I really have a hard time going back and watching them, because in all of our videos now, it's always a banter back and forth between me and my dad. But in the beginning, it was just me, and my comments were probably super dry or, whatever else. I was just figuring out,
and it's hard. It's not easy. It's not easy when you're by yourself. You got to like create comment. You have to have good comments. It's easier to bounce those ideas off somebody, right? Like,
yeah. So all the comments and everyone and all the fans and everything, they're like, bring Dad back. And so he kind of just, he started coming on more regularly. And then Christmas actually of 2019, I actually signed him to a contract to be on for the full year of 2020. So
literal contract.
Well, anything
get payments,
contract or binding agreement on it or whatever is fair, if it goes to law or anything. So I just wanted to make sure, that if he was here, but then if we got into a disagreement or anything, that he would still be here, because I really like bouncing ideas or anything off of, whoever I'm with. So if it wasn't him, when me and my ex were still dating, I would bring her in and we would do videos and everything like that. But I work better if I'm bouncing off of someone. So it was kind of a safety net for me, to where if, even if we got in an argument or whatever, that he would still have to sit down and we could still film something.
Yeah. And you also, like, if you're doing it by yourself, you gotta have like awkward pauses. You gotta have something to say, relatively articulated.
Yeah.
Relatively eloquently said. You can't just, Hey, we have Adam Strachan in the chat.
Yeah. Hey, Adam.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I had my girlfriend for a brief period of time would jump in on reactions, because we were doing like Filipino music and that sort of, but she wasn't really that into doing it. And my dad, I don't know if my dad would. Yeah, my dad would. No, I think he watches my videos sometimes, but I don't think he'd hop on a reaction. But that is like its own separate genre of reaction videos. Like dad reacts to something.
Yeah.
There's
and that's
always like subgenres of reactions.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of the fans, when they've been, subscribing, whatever, that's what a lot of them have been saying, is that, like, oh, it's a father-son thing. You've got the older generation and now a younger generation sharing the same music. So it definitely is an interesting concept, and I'm glad he's decided to come on. And actually, in your chat, if you see Lyrical One, that's actually my dad. So he says YouTube Dad is in the building.
Oh, I see.
So yeah,
shout out to Lyrical One.
Yeah.
YouTube Dad in the building. That's great.
Yeah.
So what do you listen to other than what you've been doing on your channel?
Well, like my personal list.
Yeah, or like genres at least.
Let's see. My personal playlist. Well, I have a lot of Christian artists on my playlist, and then I've got some like Jimmy Buffett. I've got some, let's see, who else do I have in here? Some Imagine Dragons, some Alan Baylock, he's a jazz artist. No BS Brass is another jazz artist. or jazz group. Some AC/DC, Queen, some pentatonic stuff.
Jimmy Buffett, is that the guy with the Hawaiian shirt on the beach? Does that make sense? Something like that?
Jimmy Buffett his music is a lot of beachy music.
Right.
So like if you've heard Margaritaville, or what else does he have? No, he partnered with Alan Rickman, I think. No, it wasn't Alan Rickman. Whoever sang 5 o'clock. No, whoever sang 5 o'clock somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, whoever sang 5 o'clock somewhere. I can't think of his name. Yeah, Alan Rickman was Professor Snape. No, but I can't think of who he partnered with. But he does a lot of beachy themed music.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got him on there. I've got a lot of Beatles on here. Let's see. Yeah, scrolling through Bon Jovi. Margaritaville, Cheeseburger in Paradise, Changes in Latitude, Changes in Attitude. That's all Jimmy Buffett. Let's see. Who else do we have? Some things from my church. Like I said, a lot of Christian stuff on here. And then some just Roger Taylor stuff on there.
Nice.
So yeah, kind of all around. Yeah, Alan Jackson. That's who it was.
All around.
Yeah.
Alan Jackson. Classic.
Yeah.
And in the chat, if anybody has questions and stuff like that, we'll briefly stop here and there and take a look at them, see if we can answer those for you.
Yeah, so let's see. Hot Space, Freddie, John Deacon's Bass. These are all guys from my channel.
I think these are all your fans.
Margie. Who else do we have on here? Let's see. Okay, that's about it. So Freddie's asking, what's your favorite song, Mace?
My favorite song of all time? My favorite song. That it's pretty hard to parse that down to one. Genre of music. That's also tough because you really put me on the spot. I'm such an eclectic listener. I'll switch from like heavy metal, then I'll go listen to like some hip hop, like hardcore rap, to country music, to Kenny Rogers. Yeah, so my musical taste is quite eclectic, and then I'll listen to like some Mozart or something, or Beethoven or something like that.
Okay, going extreme classical there
on vinyl, and I'll just chill, listen to that for a bit. So favorite genre. What I listen to most is probably hip hop. Yeah.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this: how did you get started doing reactions?
I got started doing reactions just for fun, basically, but also sort of to do with my girlfriend a little bit, because I started reacting to, I think, Morissette Amon and some Filipino artists when I first started out. And then your dad says vinyl, my kind of guy. You can see the vinyls behind me there. So a little Alice Cooper, Funkadelic. Some good stuff there.
I've got 3 milk crates worth of vinyls behind my set right here.
Yeah, I haven't bought any in a while with everything that's going on right now, but I do try to collect them sometimes. Which other YouTube channels do I enjoy watching? Lately, I've been watching. I try not to watch a ton of other stuff to make sure that I don't like retain quirks or like ideas from the channels. But I've been watching Adam's channel. I've been watching your channel here and there. I definitely like how you do with your dad. Is kind of an interesting dynamic there. It makes it, it definitely makes it more entertaining for people to see not just somebody in your family's perspective, but somebody from a different generation's perspective on whatever music you are looking at. And I'm sure that's what a lot of your viewers like to see as well.
Right. I definitely appreciate that. Thanks for that compliment. Yeah, Adam's doing a really good job, and you do a fantastic job, man.
Adam, we're getting together to do a live this Saturday, I believe. Saturday morning. We're going to check out some Aurora. I don't know if you've checked out any of Aurora's music yet, but
I've heard of Aurora, and I think I've listened to a couple of her things, but we haven't done any reactions yet. Since I'm leaving for the Air Force in a couple of months, we're trying to schedule out, not schedule out, but figure out what our reactions are going to be leading up to that and everything. So we actually have, I think Dad has a list for the next 2 weeks of our reactions that are already set. So we have a song request form that we have our viewers put their requests in or whatever, and we're at like 280 songs on there right now. But when they say, hey, you haven't looked at this or you haven't looked at that, I may have looked at it in my off time, but Dad figures all the songs and everything to do for us. And we're already like 2 weeks ahead of everything. Like he already has like the next 2 weeks figured out.
Yeah, I always feel bad when I can't, because I have such like an eclectic mix of music that I've reacted to, like Dimash, and then like OPM, which is like original Filipino music, like American music, rap music, Aurora, music from Scandinavia. So there's like all these, and then I feel bad because you can't possibly make videos on everything. You have to just choose sometimes. And like I could focus on a particular artist or a particular genre, country, whatever. I think that would probably maybe increase views a little bit, but I just do whatever comes to me. And yeah, what state are you guys in?
Like state in the United States, we are in Virginia, so along the East Coast of the United States.
Virginia.
Yeah.
What's a big city in Virginia?
Oh goodness. Alexandria. Richmond is the capital, or not the capital, but I think it's the capital of Virginia. I think. I don't know. Richmond, Alexandria. So going down south. Norfolk, by the Norfolk Harbor.
Okay. We got a question. Hot Space says, "What?" I think he's directing that to me. What part of America are you from? I'm from Canada. Freddie Mercury might be drunk. Got a Queen, obviously a Queen fan. I'm from West Coast of Canada, British Columbia, beautiful British Columbia. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh God, the ever-growing song request list. I get you guys. It's great feedback. Yeah, Adam, it is great feedback. That's how. So like, if somebody puts like, you need to react to this, or you gotta react to that, or whatever in our comments. With how our comments are, we get so many that so many comments get lost if it's for a specific thing. So we started the request form so that it's a guaranteed way that we will see your comment. It may take a while for us to actually get, or for your request, it may take a while for us to actually get to your request, but we will see that your request is in there versus comments covering everything up and then we can't find anything. It also helps us with material so that if it's like, oh, well, what should we react to? Well, let's look at the song request form and see what people want us to take a look at.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, my list would be like thousands of songs long. So it's literally not humanly possible to complete all of it.
Right. I mean, we do one video a day except for Sundays. So that's 6 videos a week. And then we've got, I think, right around 280 songs in that request list right now. So you can do the math and see how long of a time span that's just if we focused on that request form, how long it would take us, let alone any music that we actually wanted to do. So it's a never-ending list, but it definitely helps when we need material or anything like that to look at.
Yeah, sometimes I want to share like music share it with people because that's music that I love, but then I've heard it before, so it's not really a reaction. It's just like kind of showing it to people.
Right.
You can also just show people the type of music that you like as well. And you can also, sometimes you have more knowledge about it. You can talk about it better, more eloquently. You have more to say about the genre, about the artist, whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one thing that when we first started out, like in the beginning, I would do like total first-time reactions. I didn't do any research. I didn't do any background. It would just be, here it is, or whatever it is. And I would just listen to the song and then give my feedback at the end. But a lot of people were saying, you got to do your research. You need to know who you're listening to. You got to, take a look at what it is. So
yeah, people will get angry
if you don't know what it is, but they want a genuine first time reaction. So it's like, you can't have the best of both, or you can't have, either one. You got to settle for somewhere in the middle. So Dad started pulling up background information on these songs. If I've never heard of them, or if he hasn't heard of them, or whatever, he pulls background information, has its notes off to the side or whatever. And that's how we get our information during the videos. So we don't seem uneducated, but it's also a semi first time reaction, or however you want to.
Yeah, I think that's
take
fine.
that.
I'll do that too, because you don't want to just go in completely blind. You want to know, you want to know a little bit. Sometimes somebody's going to recommend you an artist from Timbuktu, and you have to, you can't just go into this is cool. You have no idea where the person's from. You need to do a little bit of research. I mean, that's only fair, I think, to the artist. Yeah. It's only fair to the artist and then the fans of that artist too, to sort of know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. I mean, with Angelina Jordan and Dimash, those were the only two when we first started doing them. Those were the only two that I think we may have gone completely blind in. And of course, I mean, we all know how they are. They're amazing artists. But with all and then after that, we get a little bit of research or whatever else on them. But all the other ones, we have our notes off to the side or doing whatever, so we don't say the wrong information. Or, oh my God, when I was doing Queen videos, I would say something and then they'd be like, no, that's not what it, and they would my comments would kill me. So it was terrible. I mean, and God forbid I didn't like one of the songs that was suggested. I think the most disliked video that I have on Reaction is 70 some dislikes, because God forbid I didn't like what I was listening to.
So it reminds me of I did a reaction to, I don't know if you ever heard of this guy, but his name's Takashi.
I think I've heard of him.
Yeah, and I didn't like it. I did not like it at all. I was kind of harsh, but in my opinion, it's just terrible. And I got just ripped to shreds on that video. I might as well just delete it at that point. It's the like-dislike ratios. I think I got
bad.
100 something dislikes and 3 likes. He's got a fervent fan base of young people who like very superficial, gratuitous music.
Right. Freddie's saying, what's the white thing on the 1980s TV, Brennan? Okay, so this is clearly my microwave behind me, but everybody keeps calling it a 1980s TV for some reason. During our live streams, we always have stuff on top just to keep it interesting. So Freddie Mercury, just to let you know, those are our mugs, our merchandise back there.
Oh, you got some merchandise cups. Eh? Nice.
Yeah, in my shirt.
Eat, sleep, react, repeat. So. Yeah, reactions, they're interesting phenomenon. I'm actually kind of I'm interested to know what your dad's perspective would be on, what did he think when he was when he saw the reaction videos initially, or discovered what reaction videos were? Was he is this strange?
Well, Dad, since you're in the chat, if you're listening, you can answer that. If not, I'll answer for you. When I first started,
a lot of people I know, especially not to make a generalization, but
no, go for it.
You have to explain it a lot of times to a little bit of older people, even young people too, that aren't sort of YouTube savvy, or they don't spend a lot of time on YouTube or whatever it is, or they just, that's not their lane. They're into something else. Young people, old people alike. A lot of people in general are kind of flummoxed when they first discover a reaction video of somebody watching something and then giving their opinion.
Right. And that's something that I had to explain to him and to my mom and to everybody else who started, or to see that I started doing this. The difference between, what's the difference between a reaction and a review? I'm like, well, there's a fine line there between a reaction and a review. Reviews tend to come after it. Reactions tend to be during it. And it's just what you're thinking about it, and all this type of different stuff. I mean, I can say a little bit that when Dad started seeing that I was filming, and doing all this stuff in the beginning, he was skeptical. He didn't understand it. He was confused. He was all this. And he let me keep doing it. He's like, okay, if this is what he wants to do, this is what he wants to do, or whatever, I'm going to let him do it. I'm not going to give him any pushback, whatever else. My mom, not so much, gave me a lot of pushback on it. Brothers gave me a lot of pushback on it. And, because there's a stereotypical YouTuber out there, oh, you're trying to be like Cutie Pie or like Mr. Beast or whatever, just immature little stuff. And it's like, oh, no, if you watch my stuff, you'd know it's nothing like that. But, there's the stereotype that goes around and nobody understands it. And explaining it to my mom, she didn't really start understanding what I was doing until I said, yeah, I'm at 2,500 subs. I've had 150,000 views this month. I'm in 50 different countries. And she's like, oh, wow, like it's actually growing. I'm like, yeah, it's actually growing. I'm actually doing something with my time, not just sitting in front of a camera.
Yeah. And I think your channel and Adam and the channels that I've watched, you have to try and be authentic. Like, you can try to be entertaining, but as long as you're not being ridiculously over the top and exaggerating every single little thing, especially like you'll see certain reaction videos, they'll react to something they have no idea about, and these very exaggerated facial expressions, what have you. And I don't know, it is what it is, to each your own. But yeah. Let's take a look at the chat here. Adam Strawn says, which artist would you like to see live next?
Referring to me or to you or to both?
I was supposed to see Run the Jewels. And they were performing with Rage Against the Machine. I think if concerts start up again, I would love to see. I would love to see that live. Run the Jewels or Rage Against the Machine. They were going on tour. Rage Against the Machine not featuring, but they were going on tour with Run the Jewels. So yeah, I think that would be it. What else we got going on in the chat?
Dimash, I would throw on top of my list of people to go see.
Dimash, yeah.
Yeah. With all the stuff that he's done out there, and like 8 different he's like 8 octaves and like a half a semitone or whatever, but going from a low here to like a D8 above the piano, or he's just crazy.
Yeah, he's insane.
Yeah.
I don't even know. It just leaves you spellbinding. You're like, what? How?
Like, how does that happen? Like, I've said it a bunch of times. It's like 3 different people singing in the same person. And I'm like, yeah, I don't get that. But it happens. And actually,
so many incredible artists, incredible singers, but he's like, okay, there's something more there.
Yeah. And actually, one of my fans messaged me when we were talking about, reactors who, oh my God, and super exaggerate and everything. She actually said, I found some who aren't pleased when you have to correct them, but they don't do any research. And they have extreme over-the-top reactions, and then they hate criticism. And I'm like, well, you have extreme over-the-top reactions, you do no research, and you have no idea who you're listening to, and you're doing it just to, hey, views. It's just, no, let's just ignore them. They don't exist, and let's just leave them off to their own little thing.
Yeah. Because I love discovering new music. That's one of the interesting things about the channel. I discover like new bands through the channel and stuff that just comes out of left field. And I'm like, wow, this is actually fantastic. And then it ends up on my playlist on my phone, and I'm singing it in the shower like 2 weeks later. So,
I get that. When I commented in yours and Adam's live stream a week or so back, and I said, have you ever heard of Godsmack? Well, one of the songs that we did by Godsmack, Under Your Scars, really, super powerful message saying, even though we all have our baggage, we all have our scars, we're all human and we all need to be treated with respect. That one, actually, during the reaction, Dad asked me, what are you doing on your phone? I said, I'm adding that to my playlist because I just love that song. And I left that in filming while he was talking in the video, that I was adding it to my playlist because it just was right there with me. So
interesting. So, Freddie Mercury. May, someone you could go live with is Caleb Cole's music. I don't know Caleb Cole's music, but we could also do we could get a live going with multiple channels. You get 3 or 4 channels in here, right?
I think you can have up to 7 guests, 6 or 7 guests actually on StreamYard.
Maybe in the future we'll get Adam in here.
That'd be cool.
Maybe Adam went to sleep. It's late. I think it's late in the UK.
Yeah, well, he said when we were waiting, or one of the comments on your announcement earlier or whatever said, this is going to be super early in the morning for me, so I'm going to have to watch it afterwards.
Yeah, so, I think he's 8 hours ahead of me. So, 13 hours ahead of you? Something like that?
Goodness gracious. He says, no, I'm up. I'd be up for a multi-channel chat.
Nice. We'll get that done in the future. Speaking of the future, what are you going to do with your channel when you go off to the Air Force?
So that's actually something that we've been trying to figure out. Dad's plan is to keep doing the reactions and everything when I'm gone, whether he has other people on or anything like that. And he works his regular full-time job, and then I do YouTube as my full-time job, whatever, even though I don't get paid much from it. But I put in full-time hours. Like when he's working in his office, I'm downstairs editing a video or online. That's or
dedication right there on your
doing whatever. And yeah, so he can't really hold down how much work that I've been putting into it. So I've got a friend who works at my church and works for another photography guy and everything. He does all their media stuff, and hopefully I'll be having him edit. Dad will have to film and then upload the footage just to like a Dropbox or Google Drive or whatever to send over to my friend who can edit everything, and then he edits and uploads and does the tags and thumbnails and everything like that. So I have to start showing him how to do all that so that the channel doesn't suffer. But he, like I said, he runs all the media stuff at my church, does all their videos, all their pictures. He works for another photography guy who's at my church. And then he does his own podcast on YouTube as well. So I said, hey, if I pay you, or if Dad pays you or whatever, can you help us out? And he said, well, I can't do your 6 videos a week. I could probably do 3 or 4, but I can see what I can do. And he's and I think he's going to be a full-time college student as well. So he's really doing us a solid and helping out. And I've known him for, over 10 years. And so he's really trying to pull us a solid and help us out.
Nice.
But yeah, and then when I get out of my training, which will probably be in January or so, because I have 8.5 weeks of the basic military training, which is the boot camp or whatever you want to call it. Then I have 65 days in my technical training to actually learn my job. So I'm probably, if I leave in, let's say, September, October, that area, I won't be out of training until the January, February, maybe March area. And then after that, I don't know, I'm probably going to take the channel back and then start doing stuff on my spare time. Of course, I'll have my full-time job and then like you doing this on the side. But I got to prep for the time that when I'm gone, but when I pick it back up, when I get back, then I have to figure out, well, do I want to keep doing reactions, or do I want to shift it to vlogs, or do I want to shift it to military stuff, or where do I want the channel to go at that point?
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting to figure out.
Do you know what your job is going to be in the Air Force already, or?
Right now, I am set up under security forces, which is your MP, your police, your security type people, or however it by. Marines, the Army use MP, so that's, I guess, the worldwide term. But for the Air Force is security forces. But basically, you're a cop. Yeah, you're the Air Force's policeman, law enforcement.
Interesting.
So that's what I'm signed up for right now. I don't have a ship date due to COVID and some other stuff that have come up, but they're trying to resolve all that to actually get me a ship date to leave. So within the next month and a half or so, month and a half to 2 months.
Yeah, it's craziness.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily I'm working. Like a lot of people got out of a job. I'm not sure how old you are. You don't have to say, but
18.
I'm 18. Okay, yeah. So so you graduated high school then?
Mm-hmm. Graduated in June.
So your first summer off, and then you're going off to right.
Yeah.
Time flies.
A lot of kids who graduate high school, as soon as they get out of high school, they leave for the military or they do whatever. I told my recruiter, I said, I want 3 months after high school. I want it off. I want my first summer off. Don't have to worry about school. Don't have to worry about anything. Just give me 3 months off. And he said, okay, I can do that. If you want to ship in September or October or something like that, I can arrange that. I'm like, all right, great. And it also gives me time to, be on YouTube, connect with the fans and, do all the social media work and everything like that, which I wouldn't have if I left straight after high school. And I'd probably let a bunch of people down or, whatever, because I post so much.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the chat here for a second. People saying they're not fans of Dimash. Well, they're not keen on Dimash. I understand where they're coming from, I guess. Because Dimash is not something I'm going to put on like in my car driving around, like, in the car, windows down, summer, and it's like this operatic, totally crazy voice. But
yeah,
it's not like something with a beat that or it's not something you're gonna listen to at the gym, right? It's not like something I really listen to that much besides on the channel. So I see where they're coming from there, but I can still appreciate and just be flabbergasted at his vocals at the same time.
Oh yeah, he's just an amazing performer.
Yeah.
So let's see. Adam, I feel you, man. Maybe you could introduce your life into the channel more as vlogs. A few people have asked me to vlog, and I'm thinking I'll do trial vlogs or see how it goes. In the beginning, before I did reaction videos, I did vlogs, but of course at that point I didn't have an audience. I had a vlogging channel. I had the reaction channel and then a separate channel for vlogs and, announcements and PO boxes and stuff like that, but nobody watched over there. So I recently just took that down. And so I'll be incorporating more stuff onto the bass player's channel.
Yeah, I did some vlogs, but I also had a channel way back in the day that got taken down by YouTube, which was very annoying because I had it wasn't a reaction channel. It was just like, this is when I was like your age, posting just various videos. And I can't remember why I got taken down. I think I got a copyright strike, 3 strikes. I guess you're out.
Wow. Yeah. Copyright strikes. You get 3 and then you're out. With reactions, a lot of all I get are claims or blocks.
Yeah. But it was awful because I lost a lot of sentimental videos.
Yeah.
That actually my buddy the other day, he texted me and he's like, hey, you try to talk to YouTube and get your old channel back, because we used to look at those videos just for sentimental purposes and how they're
gone. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I did vlogs as well on my channel here, but it's tough. You got to figure out, you just can't get discouraged. I guess you gotta, if you're not getting that many viewers for your vlogs, if you say, oh, you do a reaction to this, it's like here, and then you do a vlog and it's like here or here, but you just kind of gotta.
Yeah, you got to go with the flow of it. It's just all right, well, the people don't want to watch it. They don't want to watch it. If there's an announcement in it and then they say, oh, but where's this announcement? Well, you didn't watch the vlog. You didn't hear the announcement or whatever.
Yeah, so, take the constructive criticism, which is mostly what we receive. And the vast majority of our, my comments anyways, are just either requests or just positivity, which is kind of I think a cool part of a lot of the reaction sort of community is the people that watch them typically aren't like your typical internet commentators who can get pretty nasty sometimes, depending on which part of the internet it is. And YouTube is one of those parts of the internet. It still has that anonymity for people that are commenting, but you don't see the same sort of vulgarity and cruelty and a lot of you look on, I don't know, Twitter or something like that, especially anything to do with anything on Twitter. And there's people just making awful comments because they have that anonymity, but you don't see it as much on reaction channels. I don't think so.
I mean, my channel dislike ratio, I believe it's 94% or 95% likes, something like that. actually, let's see if I can find it. See the actual percent on here. Yeah, the last 28 days is 98.4% positive feedback and likes and everything like that. We did a Dimash video the other day, and of course, it's blowing up with views or whatever because of his fan base. And I said, we can record, and I was telling Dad this, we can record a perfect video, and one person will find something that they don't like and will give it a dislike. And lo and behold, it was something like, oh, you made this one comment and I can't forgive you for making this one comment. And I'm like, are you serious? Like 90 other people clicked the thumbs up and they like everything that we said. They like our reactions. They like how it's all laid out. But you had a problem with this one comment and decided to leave a nasty review and a thumbs down. And I'm like, out of everything, you picked this one little comment to say something about. And I'm just like, seriously, some people have all the time in the world on their hands to pick out one tiny little thing. And I'm like, all right, delete. And I've deleted some of the comments that show up only because I don't want a lot of negative comments in the comment section. I want a positive vibe or anything like that. Like some of them I'll respond to and say, okay, I understand what you're saying. But if it's just like, you're wrong and I'm going to tell you why you're wrong and you can never correct yourself, I'm like, all right, well, then I'm not even going to try to explain myself, because no matter what I say, I'm going to be wrong. So I don't want your comment here. I don't block them from commenting. I just delete the comment.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree. There goes Adam. He's going to bed.
All right. Night, Adam. Love both your channels and enjoy the rest of the live. Speak with you soon. Thanks for joining, Adam. Appreciate it.
Your buddy, my new buddy there, Freddie Mercury. In both of our opinions, what's the best concert you have ever seen?
So seen as in been to, or seen as in a replay from?
I think he's probably implying the being to one, because there's nothing quite like, you can't really compare watching a recording of one.
Gotcha. So I've only been to one concert, and it was a group called the Newsboys, and they're a Christian group. And so I went to their concert a few years back. But that's the only concert that I've actually been to, because I've been in school full time. I can't really go to concerts, at least as of right now.
I don't know what your town or city is like in terms of population or like nightlife or something, but depending where you live, a lot of times there's not enough venues, or there's not the bands aren't going to come through depending on your population. I used to live in Vancouver. Vancouver has big population. It's a major city, so I was lucky enough to see a ton of shows when I was there, and it was great. But now that I've moved back to a more rural area, there's like nothing.
And there's maybe 2,000 people in my town, and that was the 2018 census. But there's maybe 2,000 people in my town.
And now you throw COVID into the mix, and there's literally
you can't do anything.
Nothing. Even in Vancouver, my sister texted me. She's like, "Oh, we can't even go to shows." And she actually saw a show in mid-March, like right before kind of everything really, really took a downturn. When it got real, when it really started affecting even me, like I had to quit working for a while. So
yeah.
Craziness,
especially in the beginning, like March, April, when everything was spiking, everything's closing down and stay-at-home orders, and man, you can't do anything. And that's the one thing about this, is that everyone's like, I can't go to work. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'm still filming my videos in my kitchen, so I'm staying safe and away from everybody.
Yeah, I think there's a big spike in people trying to sort of be constructive in some fashion on the internet. I don't know if that's why there's like a shortage of. I was looking the other day at maybe getting a new webcam, and it's like, oh, we're out of stock. We're constructing these things as quickly as we can. Come back later.
Well, I mean, even though with Amazon and their factories and warehouses and everything, they don't have a lot of the manpower that they used to, because they had to cut how many people they could work at a time because of COVID.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
Yeah, it definitely is crazy.
My favorite concert, I've seen quite a few concerts. Well, no, not compared to a lot of people. Some people I'm jealous of because they've seen dozens and dozens of concerts. Oh, I think my cat is yelling at me, but she can wait. I would have to say a toss-up between Atmosphere, which is a Midwest American hip-hop duo. I saw them live. I saw them live in Vancouver and then Victoria, BC, back-to-back on back-to-back nights. That was fantastic. That was a really, really great time. And I got to chat with them before the show on both occasions. And it was really funny when they saw us in Victoria. They're like, "Hey, you were in Vancouver last night. You guys took the ferry over to because Victoria's on an island, Vancouver Island here." And yeah, that was fantastic because I got to meet the guys. We got some autographs, and I was huge fans. Well, I'm still a big fan of those guys. Another show I saw was in Seattle, and that was Run the Jewels because it was really intimate, and we were right at front and center stage. And I love those guys too, and they're so personable, and their concert was sort of full of positive vibes. So that was a lot of fun as well. So those two for me, both rap shows. I haven't seen too much music though.
If Dad was still in the chat, I'd ask him that question because that's one of the things that is cool when we bounce back and forth because he's been to a lot of concerts, and there was one concert when he was, I think it was like maybe 25 or something, like 20, 25 or whatever that he went to, and actually, have you ever heard of the group the Doobie Brothers?
Yeah, I got one of their vinyls back there.
Okay, I probably got two in these milk crates over here. But anyway, he met one of the Doobie Brothers because he was working at a shoe shop. He was a shoe salesman. And this guy came in, and of course, he didn't know at the time that he was a Doobie Brother. But he was in Ohio, and was it Blossom Music Center, I think is in Ohio, where they have a lot of their concerts and everything. And this guy comes in, and of course, he's just got this long beard, this long hair or whatever, and says, "Hey, I'm looking for a pair of shoes." And my dad, not knowing who he is, says, "Okay, well, total salesman, like, okay, well, you're on your feet. Are you on your feet all day, or what kind of shoes are you looking for, or whatever?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, you can say I'm on my feet a lot, or whatever." And of course, Dad's saying, "All right, well, let's try this pair, or whatever." His coworker's like in the back, like, oh my god, like, he's freaking out, and Dad didn't even know who he's talking to. So then the guy comes out from the back room, his coworker, after Dad writes up the bill of sale and everything, and he leaves, and his coworker comes out and is like, "Do you know who that was? Do you know who that was?" And he's like, "No, he was just some dude who was playing at Blossom or whatever." And he's like, and the coworker was like, "That was a Doobie Brother. That was a Doobie Brother. Did you get his autograph or whatever?" Like his coworker's like freaking out, and Dad's like, "Yeah, I got his autograph." "Well, where'd you get it?" "On the bill of sale." And then another one where he was working at a tuck shop, and he got a call from whoever was playing, I forget whoever was playing, but he needed a tux jacket. Just for whatever show he was at, he needed a tux jacket. So his producer or manager called or whatever saying, "Hey, do you have a tux jacket?" And Dad's like, "Yeah, I've got a tux jacket," or whatever. And he's like, "All right, well, I work or I'm so-and-so's manager." And he's like, "No, you're not." He's like, "No, I'm so-and-so's manager, and he needs a tux jacket like tonight." And Dad's like,
"A what?"
"Oh, okay." And Bruce, is it?
What's
Bruce.
A tux jacket?
A tux jacket, like for a tux.
Oh, a tuxedo. Oh yeah.
For a tuxedo, yeah, the jackets.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, Dad's saying Bruce, but I know it's not Bruce Springsteen. Or is it Bruce from the Doobie Brothers? I don't know. I don't know what he's referring to there. But basically he rented whoever this tux jacket, and then at the end of the night, he said, "I need this back," or whatever, and one of the managers or the onstage crew or whatever said, like, "Oh yeah, you're never gonna get that jacket back. So here's like $300," and it was like a $70 tux jacket. And the guy was like, "Yeah, here's $300 for that jacket because you're never gonna get it back," or whatever happened. But yeah, so it's always cool when we're talking. He's like, "Yeah, I've been to that concert. Oh, I've met this guy, or I've met that guy. That was a cool concert," or whatever. So that's always awesome. I hope I can get to some concerts in the future without COVID happening again.
Oh yeah, it'll go back to normal. Margie Walford asked if I'm gonna react if I would react Queen, of course, yeah, I could react to Queen. Just let me know in the chat which song. I've heard most of their songs though. We got David Bowie in the David Bowie in the chat.
Okay, you're gonna see a lot of dead people in the chat. Just giving you a heads up.
Okay.
just letting you know, you're gonna see a lot of dead people in the chat.
I do remember one Doobie's Brothers song, China Grove. We used to listen to that all the time. I don't know why. I don't know who put me onto that song. It was in like middle school, I think. Yeah, China Grove. When the sun comes up on a sleepy little town down around San Antonio. I love that. Love that track. I gotta go here in a few minutes. Margie, you can put your Queen. Just let me know that song. But I've heard most of their songs. Somebody to Love live at Montreal. Ooh, Montreal performance, nice.
Montreal '81. Yeah, that's always a great performance.
Because you've done quite a bit of Queen, eh?
I did about 5.5 months worth of Queen because that's all anybody would watch.
Nice.
If I did anybody else, I wouldn't get the views at that point. At that point, I was working towards the monetization with the 4,000 hours and 1,000 subscribers or whatever it is. And so at that point, I'm like, okay, well, this is what people will watch. This is how I'm going to get the views in for the time being. And then I was getting in a rut to where that's all people would watch. So then I had to break out of that. And it's just like, all right, fine, whatever. Whether you want to watch what I'm doing or not, that's up to you. But I'm going to do what I want to do.
You just got to experiment. Yeah, you just got to experiment. Yeah. Experiment sometimes, and you'll find something that clicks. Or I don't know. It's like shooting fish in a barrel sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was probably about 2 months ago or so that I said, you know what? Queen will be there, but it'll just be one of the other one-off bands that we're doing or whatever. So if you want to watch any of our Queen stuff, go back for the past 6 months, but if you want to keep up to date, you're going to have to watch what we're doing.
Yeah.
And we're going to do what we're doing and what we like to do. So
anyways, my friend, I got to pick up my girlfriend in about 10 minutes. She's going to be angry with me if I'm late. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Hopefully we can do this again. It was a lot of fun. Interested in getting to know you. Thanks for hopping on, man.
Yeah, no problem. If you want me to come in on the multi-channel whatever that you were planning on doing that Adam was talking about earlier, that you were talking about earlier, let me know. Shoot me an email. Do whatever. I'd love to come back on.
We'll get her done. And I will go through the chat. Everybody who commented, I'll if you had any reactions, any requests, anything like that, I'll take a look. You have a wonderful afternoon, my man.
You too as well, man.
All right, we'll see ya.
All right, later, man.